Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Chapter 15. More Years of Life and More Life in Your Years. Does every human being have a built-in fountain of youth? Can the success mechanism keep you young? Does the failure mechanism accelerate the aging process? Frankly, medical science does not have any final answer to these questions, but it is not only possible, but I believe practical, to draw certain conclusions and implications from what is already known. In this chapter, I would like to tell you some of the things that I believe and which have been of practical value to me. William James once said that everyone, scientists included, develops his own overbeliefs concerning known facts, which the facts themselves do not justify. As a practical measure, these overbeliefs are not only permissible but necessary. Our assumption of a future goal, which sometimes we cannot see, is what dictates our present actions and our practical conduct. Columbus had to assume that a great landmass lay to the westward before he could discover it. Otherwise he would not have sailed at all, or having sailed, would not have known whether to set his course to the south, east, north, or west. Scientific research is possible only because of the faith in assumptions. Research experiments are not helter-skelter or aimless, but directed and goal-oriented. The scientist must first set up a hypothetical truth, a hypothesis not based upon fact but upon implications, before he can know which experiments to make or where to look for facts, which may prove or disprove his hypothetical truth. In this last chapter, I want to share with you some of my own overbeliefs, hypotheses, and philosophy, not as an MD, but as a man. As Dr. Hans Selye said, there are certain truths which cannot be used by medicine, but can be used by the patient. Life force, the secret of healing and the secret of youth. I believe that the physical body, including the physical brain and nervous system, is a machine composed of numerous smaller mechanisms, all purposeful or goal-directed. I do not believe, however, that man is a machine. I believe that the essence of man is that which animates this machine, that which inhabits the machine, directs and controls it, and uses it as a vehicle. Man himself is not a machine any more than electricity is the wire over which it flows, or the motor which it turns. I believe that the essence of man is what Dr. J.B. Rhine calls extra-physical, his life or vitality, his consciousness, his intelligence, and sense of identity, that which he calls I. For many years, individual scientists, psychologists, physiologists, biologists have suspected that there was some sort of universal energy or vitality which ran the human machine, and that the amount of this energy available and the way it was utilized explained why some individuals are more resistant to disease than others, why some individuals aged faster than others, and why some hardy individuals live longer than others. It was fairly obvious that the source of this basic energy, whatever it might be, was something other than the surface energy we obtain from the food we eat. Caloric energy does not explain why one individual can snap back quickly from a serious operation, or withstand long, continued stress situations, or outlive another. We speak of such persons as having a strong constitution. Some years ago, Dr. J.A. Hadfield wrote, "It is true that we do store up a certain amount of energies derived physiologically from the nutriment of food and air, but several of the greatest psychologists, and in particular those clinical psychologists who have to deal with the actual diseases of men, have tended towards the view that the source of power is to be regarded as some impulse that works through us, and is not of our own making. What Janet calls mental energy is a force which ebbs in the neurasthenic and flows in the healthy man. Jung speaks of libido, or urge, as a force which surges through our lives, now as an impulse toward nutrition, now as the sexual instinct. There is also the élan vital of Bergson. These views suggest that we are not merely receptacles but channels of energy. Life and power is not so much contained in us, it courses through us. Man's might is not to be measured by the stagnant water in the well, but by the limitless supply from the clouds of heaven. Whether we are to look upon this impulse as cosmic energy or a life force, or what may be its relation to the divine immanence in nature, is for other investigators to say.